Well, I just finished editing the prop balancer video, and it seems like quite a few of y'all are interested in how that went. I thought that was pretty cool. But video's only been live for 30 minutes. Already got a few comments, so I'm jumping into the next video here. So we've got the Dominator, the Oxidean Dominator, and we've got the vintage tonal hull. Later in this video, we're going to take both of these boats out to the pond and we're going to run them. Now, if you remember in the prop balancing video, I mentioned that I was going to be swapping around and testing some new ESCs. Well, as you could tell by the thumbnail, we've got this. This is a Hobbystar 160, okay? All aluminum case, 6 coolant nipples. It's gonna have insane water cooling capabilities. But what we're doing is we're gonna put this 160 in the Dominator with the S 2000 motor, and we're gonna test it. Now, the original setup I had in this, the previous run, was identical. I had this boat and the Chaser 32 up there with the same motor and the same ESC, and basically they both proved that they could run the same prop, and they both proved that they couldn't run a bigger prop. But this boat was slower but actually handled better. So I think we were doing like 43 miles an hour with this, but it handles on rails. So because the Chaser was like 5 miles an hour faster, this boat actually did laps around the buoy faster, just because of its handling characteristics. So I'm going to use this boat to test the theory with this 160 to see if we can spin the gold Oxidean prop. So that's like a 1715, 1716. Either way, it's a CNC prop. I'll come over here. I'll show you exactly which one I'm talking about. It's this prop right here. So this is Oxidean's yellow A45. And we're going to run this. It would not run this prop with the Seaking 180. So that is the overall goal, is to see if that ESC can handle that prop. We'll probably run it on 4S and we'll run it on 6S. And then what I did, because it fits so perfectly inside of here, I went ahead and put the Seaking 180 in here with the giant atomic cat pack. All the wires and everything just fit beautifully perfect. All I had to do was extend this cooling line, run a different cooling line. So if you remember about this boat, it caught on fire the last time we went out. I had the RC Boat Bits Fly Color 150 in there, and it burst into flame. I literally just hit the trigger, poof, and luckily I didn't have the boat on the water when that happened. When I did that, I grabbed my little homemade battery tray here and I literally tried ripping it off. So you can see the crack in that it cracked the wood on this side. I haven't had time to make a new one, but I did super glue it back together. So that doesn't really matter. That's just the rear portion of it. And the front is still pretty golden, because I got the front off and I ripped it up and I just grabbed the brand new SMC battery that I had in there. That was what I didn't want to lose, because it was shorting the system out. But now we've got a updated speed controller in there. I think the 180 will be fine, since this is just a little 36 mil can motor. I think that's a 3674 S motor. And I never got to test the prop on this thing. So this is Dr. Prop's Traxxas prop. This is a 4216. I've also got another one coming. I think it's the 4316. So I had just placed an order with Dr. Props, and I got 3 or 4 props for that. And they're coming. So I'm going to go ahead and stop talking. I've got to solder on these bullets. These are 6 mil bullets, and then this was the QS8 that was in the fly color when it burned up. So I went ahead 5 minutes ago, I desoldered the ends of it. That's why I've got my soldering gun here. You can see my little mess, but I'm going to go ahead, get this all soldered up, get it put in the boat, and then once I have formulated how it's going to fit in the boat, I'll show you both finished products, and then we'll take them out and put them on the water. All right, check her out. I've got her in there. Now she's kind of like temporarily in there. It's not permanently mounted or double-sided taped or anything like that. It literally just kind of chilling. But between I don't want to, you know, cut or manipulate my cooling hoses, so I just kind of made it work. It actually fit better on this side over here. It fit really well right in this little area, but I opted to put it on this side to help compensate for the weight of the boat and stuff like that. But it seems to work. Everything's plugged in. The motor wires are kind of like barely long enough and stuff like that. It probably would be better if you could just set it in the front of the motor. But on the boat like this, there's so much nose weight that we need to try to get the battery back. It was designed to have batteries here on the side, so we're just gonna run one here and see how it goes. But it fits in the boat just fine. Hopefully it performs equally as well. All right, so that theoretically should work. Let's everybody cross your fingers, because I'm bad luck for poofas of smoke. Well, that's different. It's like, it's when I hit the throttle, it goes like 15% and then full. So let's do a half trigger. That's different. 5.0 volt. Okay, that's different. So maybe what that does, that basically sinks the motor, maybe, like, because it doesn't have the you know, the wire going to the motor, the sensored motor. Maybe that spins it slowly first to get it in its cycle. It's very similar to what I would call like ABS or something like that, or traction control, you know. But let's see, what direction is that spinning? Spinning backwards. Okay. Unfortunately, they don't give you any instructions. Or maybe they do, I don't know. But I'm going to do some research online to see if I can cycle through the beeps and stuff like that, like you would do a fly color. I'm also going to pull out my programming cards, because it's a Hobbystar. I don't know if any of the program cards will talk to this thing. That'd be cool if it did, but I'm gonna just give that a try, because this whole 2-second delay thing, that has me questioning stuff. So I want to know more for my sake, so I can share it with y'all. Alright, so I wasn't able to get into the programming of this. It's been about 5 hours since the last clip. Did some research. I have to have the programming card for it. So I'm going to run it as is. I feel like the punch control on that is probably just set at 1. That's why it has that initial 1-second delay. Maybe it has something to do with getting the sequence and the timing of the motor spinning correctly to where it doesn't short out. That just may be a factor with that ESC. I don't know. But I went on RC Juice and ordered the programming card for the Hobbystar. I've tried all my others, it wouldn't work. Now, we're going to run both of these boats here in a second. I'm going to run the Dominator on this SMC pack, and I'm going to run the vintage tunnel hull on this. This is a 5S pack. So this will be the Seaking 180, and this will be the new Hobbystar ESC. Just wanted to show you. This is the Z battery. These are the resistance values, 3.7, 3.2, 4.1. And then this is the SMC pack, 2.1, 2.7. So both of these have the same amount of charge cycles on them. I think I've only ran this twice and only ran this twice. So they're still relatively new. That's relatively low resistance for a Z pack, to be completely honest. But I'm just test fitting it now. That's what I've got my other 5S pack. I'm just running 5S just because why not, you know. I could run it 4S. But that's why we're running 4S in the Dominator, because I know that it wouldn't spin the prop, the yellow prop, last time I tried it. So we have the GPS in here. So we're going to go ahead, and we've got the new WFly X9 receivers. So this way we'll get GPS on this in some form or fashion. And I've got to go ahead and put a piece of what you want to call it right there on the side to where we can get this pinned up there. Once the batteries are charged, we'll go ahead and take them outside. Now if you notice, I took the studs out here. I need to drill holes and move the studs up further, because the cowling, you've got an inch here, you've got 3/4 of an inch here, and you've only got 3/8 of an inch here. So there wasn't enough height. So I need to move them back. My studs for my battery latch, they need to be about right here. So I'll drill more holes and put the studs here, and then we'll have wing nuts here and here. But that'll be for another day. I'm gonna go ahead and get this all wrapped up. Just wanted to show you the batteries that we were using before we take it outside, because when I take it outside, it's all gonna be sealed up. Alright, finally made it out here. This is gonna be the first time I'm actually running it legit with the cowling. I went ahead and put some screws in the cowl, so hopefully nothing stupid happens, because it'll take me a minute to get it apart. But let's cover all, what we've got. We've got a 5S pack, Z pack. We're running the Seaking 180. First time ever running the Seaking 180 in this. Seems like it should work for this since it's a small motor. That's a 2075 kV, 3674 triple S motor. KMB 7.5 bottom end with a Dr. Props Traxxas prop. So everything looks good. The goal here is just to not flip it. I don't want to flip it. Alright. Oh. My pond's a little dirty, and the sun has got a hellacious glare. If you can see, I've got clouds. The sun is just right in between clouds right now. So I'm going to give it a second and see if I can get the sun behind the clouds to where when we film, we don't have this glare. Alright, sun's behind the clouds. Let's get it. Still got to figure out what the right setting is as far as like the height of the motor and the trim and all that. And prop selection. I've just had really bad luck with them fly color ESCs. This pond isn't big enough for this boat. We're just out here testing it. Almost seemed like that motor needs to go down some. Ooh, damn it. Thought I was coming over here into the pine tags. Or the cattails. God bless it. Okay. I went and got it, flipped it upside down. Ironically, it just does not take on water, so pretty happy about that. I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably try to get a curved turn fin for it. Maybe that'll help prevent it from rolling. I think if I need to be able to drive it faster. I think going slow is what makes it want to roll. It's going fast and then slowing down for the curves. Come on, baby, yeah! Let it rip. See, I just don't have enough room here in this pond. But the Seaking 180 really seems to do well. I'm just not able to really open it up here. I gotta go slow in the corners or I'm just gonna... Let's see. Yeah, GPS isn't really registering here. I got 6 miles an hour, which we know that it's not doing that. I got really good water cooling coming off the back, so I'm happy about that. Alright. I'm gonna stop. Alright, right now we're doing clockwise. Let's go counterclockwise. No. No. The turn fin where it is helps it turn that direction. Alright, what is... That's wide open there for a second. Oh! 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 That is dope. This thing really needs the big pond. Oh man, I'm gonna let it cool down for a second. Alright, my bad. I had somebody calling me, so I had to answer the phone. Alright, let's do 3 more laps. It really wakens up on 5S. Man, it was so fun at that speed. This prop seems to do really well on here too. Gives it nice lift. Oh, power cut. Okay. That was a power cut. Either that or a temp cut. Possibly a temp cut. Just trying to scrub speed. Alright, let me get this thing out of here and try not to get dirty. Okay, first things first, let's check the motor temp. 102. I just don't see the outboard motors really getting that hot. I know it flipped over earlier, but with it being out in the air and in the elements, I just don't see it getting as hot as trapped inside the boat, you know what I'm saying? Alright, let's go ahead. We're going to start pulling the cowl off, and then we'll check battery voltage, and we'll check battery temps. Okay. Alright. Looks like that did its job. Okay. It still bites down really well. I'm going to go ahead and take our foam out. We'll lift our battery up. Battery did get a little wet. We're at 101 is what I got on the high end of that. Let's check the ESC. ESC says 107. I believe more of what the capacitors say. Okay, that's not too terribly bad. Let's check the cat pack down there. Cat pack down there is 97. ESC was probably at 125 to be completely honest. So this was my water block inside. It didn't really work because the boat sat upside down in the water for, I don't know, a good 3 or 4 minutes till I could go get my kayak. Alright, let's go ahead and let's check the prop. The prop looks good. Everything's cool there. And we're going to unplug this and check the remainder voltage. Alright, Z-Pack 5S. Right on the money. 383, 382, 384. Couldn't ask for nothing no better. I think, honestly, that's probably the best that it's ever ran, and that is going to be a really fun setup when we take it to the big pond. So I think the Seaking 180 can handle this motor no problem. I've never seen an issue out of it. The cat pack should help it. The prop size should help it. I just think the whole combination right now is just perfect. So that's what we'll do. We'll take it as it is to the big pond. The next time we take it out, I'll do a little bit of sanding on the bottom because I've never touched the hull, never done anything, and it definitely needs some love. And then I'll take the old flathead screws out, the old turn fin off the bottom. I'll sharpen it, and I'll make one very similar to it that's a little deeper, and it'll have like a slight hook. So hopefully when we take it around the corner, hopefully it'll stop trying to roll the boat over. Because what I think it's doing, it's grabbing this edge here and it's pulling it under. So I think if we had enough speed to where the boat was up out of the water, we wouldn't have that problem. But
I don't know. Totally new to all this. So we've got this covered. Let's go ahead and go get the Dominator and test out that new ESC. All right, now we're going to jump to the Dominator. We've got the, what do you call that? The Hobbystar 160. And then the SMC pack. I don't have this charged to the high voltage. It's 4.25 instead of 4.35 because I don't want to trick this thing into thinking it and having LVC. So I just charged it to my max 4.25. So we'll see how it works. I've got on my big prop here. The Seaking 180 could not handle that. So let's see if this one can. We're just going to bash around the pond, maybe 10-15 laps, bring it in, check temp, stuff like that. Just preliminary testing to see if the ESC can handle it. See, this is what I mean, watch. Just a slow initial start. Maybe that's just to get the motor going. Don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay, Hobbystar 160. First time I've ever seen this ESC anywhere on YouTube. All right, now unfortunately for this run, I don't have no shade, so kind of is what it is. You know what? Wow, I didn't even notice the hesitation. I didn't even notice it. We're gonna do a couple laps. And we're just gonna slowly, progressively build up. A 2000 kV triple S motor with the Oxidean yellow prop. Zoe? No, ma'am. That's wide open, y'all. That is full trigger. Zozo, quit. Still full trigger, haven't lifted. All right, lifted there. I'm gonna lift. I think my dog's getting in the pond. Yep. Not bad. Not bad. Zoe, are you cooling off? Are you enjoying that? You having fun? Yeah, I'm having fun, Daddy. Okay, now, I know I probably haven't fully depleted the battery, but that was a 2-minute run. Let's go ahead and just bring it in. The sun is glaring really, really hard. Y'all don't ever understand the temperature. Zoe, stop. The temperature is rough. Okay. I'll have to say, based on that run, it was spectacular. I think I did like, I don't know, at least 7 or 8 laps, just nothing but full throttle. So, I've got high hopes. Let's go ahead and open it up. Everybody cross your fingers that there's no smoke underneath the lid. It's a little warm right here. Let's check just the cow. We're at 96 on the outside. All right, let's open her up. Okay, moment of truth. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Whew, battery's hot. 130? Yeah, 130. Okay. ESC's 129. Motor's 131. Connections are 149. I think the ESC, wow, caps are 180. Woo, boy. She's hot, you know what I'm saying? But that was like a legitimate run there. Ooh, man. Okay. What was I getting? It was 180. I think it was a wire. Yeah, wow, the wires are hot. The back of the connection. Oh, the connector's not plugged in all the way. Okay, I see. I see. Alright, well, that was a hell of a run. I was thinking to myself, as a high voltage pack, I could run it longer, but duh, Philip, you didn't charge it to the high voltage limitation, so. Okay, not bad. Let's check, scalding. Let's check the voltage. Alright, 4S pack, right where it needs to be, 3.85. So luckily we stopped it right in time. And wow, look what it did, dude. Oh my God. Look at that. It melted the shit out of that. Wow. Talk about hot wires, dude. Talk about hot wires. Yeah. I think the SRD packs have heavier wires coming out, so they're not going to get as bad. But this was just a test anyways, and that was probably as hard as you can test one right there, because the boat was running rather wet. We were doing nothing but turns. Didn't really have any time to like get up on plane, and you know, the boat was always kind of in the water, and it was a big prop. Let's see, did it register? Yeah, it registered 46 miles an hour, but 46 miles an hour, you know, on this, in this pond, it just doesn't kind of correlate right because we keep going in circles. So the W-fly never really worked that great here. But awesome. I think the ESC is a winner. I give that more props than I give the Seaking 180. All we need now is a program card for it. All right, well, I know the video's getting long, but Hobbystar versus Hobbywing. I'm gonna say Hobbystar. You know, the Seaking 180 just never performed to what I would consider a true 180 amps. Like, it may be labeled 180, but I would say it's probably more like a 120, you know. But this right here, I mean, the Fly Color 150 always outperformed the Seaking 180, so that tells you enough right there. But this right here, being solid aluminum all the way around, 3 nice big capacitors, 10 gauge wire, I like these ESCs. For the price, kind of hard. You know, the big one's 119. You can get the 130, I think, for 90 bucks. So if you were going to buy like a Fly Color 150, I would definitely go with one of these over the Fly Color. I would definitely go with one of these over the Seaking 180s, to be completely honest. But if you buy one, make sure you buy the programming card, because I messed up and I didn't. I just assumed that Hobbystar, is that what it was? Hobbystar? Hobbystar was close enough to Hobbywing, and I thought that all of the programming cards, at least one, would correspond with it. But this one, the Dynamite and the Fly Color, none of them will cross over. So it is what it is. 20 bucks, got another one on order. I was amazed by how hot the ESC got. Didn't have no issues, no smoke. We literally threw it to it. That was absolutely a beast of a run. And the Seaking 180 in this hole with this prop would always amp cut. It would not run. It would get up to about 60% throttle and then fall on its face. So being that it spun this propeller in this boat with it running wet and didn't really have any issues, perfect. I think once we get the boat trimmed right, get it up out of the water, we'll start getting some cooler temps, and then maybe in the next run we'll throw 6S on it and see how it handles 6S. But we don't want to run 6S until we have the program card, because this is a D-wind motor. I don't know what the timing is set on this. That may be a reason why I was getting, you know, high temps. Who knows? But I need to get into the system and check the parameters. But y'all let me know what you think. Seaking 180, Hobby King versus Hobbystar ESC. That was a pretty cool comparison. 2 totally different boats, but at least we got some boat running footage. But we already knew what the Seaking 180 did in this. That right there totally outperformed it. So, all right, I'm going to end it here.
See y'all later. Peace.